Okay, so now that we got this car in the shop, we diagnosed why it's not running right, and we pretty sure we can fix why it's not running right. The next thing to do is to tear it down and strip this car completely. So what we're going to do is we're going to start tearing this car apart. The only interest that I've had online for parts is headlights, grille, mirrors, and tail lights. So we're pretty much just going to get rid of everything else other than that. Anything that could swap over from this car to my Mazda van, we're going to keep because they do have the same motor, same suspension, same everything. So let's start tearing this car apart and see how far we get. It is now 2:45, I believe, so we'll see how long it takes us. So there you go. The Mazda's stripped. Now we just got to take this big pile of interior out to one of our derby cars that is junk and fill it up to the top. But this all is out of the Mazda. That is quite a pile, I think. Quite a pile. So now we have the exhaust and the gas tank out. But if you notice, I actually took out the power steering pump because it is an electric power steering pump and it looked like it was going to cause us nothing but problems. Now I'm also going to remove this belt off the air conditioner. Now it's just a stretch to fit belt, so you just remove it with a screwdriver. And I'm also going to cut these off right here. Now, I could remove the whole pump, but I don't plan on doing that because it has a nice steel shroud guard here at the bottom, and this is an aluminum oil pan. So, you know what, any steel I can have down here that will help take that off of there, I'm going to do it. But I'm also going to cut it away from the motor, so that way it also has less resistance on that pulley. And then I'm going to remove all the air conditioning lines just because of extra space inside the engine bay. I looped the steering lines, as you can see, just so that way there's still fluid in it, but now it is not gonna be in a big issue. And it had some really big electrical positive and negatives going to it, so it could draw so much power, but I don't want that in there. Exhaust is off, heat shield's off, muffler, gas tank, all off. So now that that's done, we can throw the front tires back on this car and we can bring it back down to the ground. But realistically, this car here, it doesn't look that too bad back here. Like, it's got a unique design where it's got a subframe that bolts to the body in some good ways, and then the axles actually have something that comes up and connects farther into the body, like a trailing arm system. It would be nicer if these trailing arms were a little bit more than what they are, because they're just basically a flat stamped piece of steel. But you know what? I've seen worse cars back in the areas here. Like at least it's got something that stretches forward for some added support. But what a weird suspension setup. It's got a shock, a really weird horseshoe-shaped upper link. It's got the radius arm that goes up, a rear link here, plus a rear control arm. So it's not lacking anything in the back here, that's for sure. But needless to say, it's all done, ready to start getting built. So let's get the tires on this, drop it back down to the ground, and then we can try to start building it. And then a buddy came over and actually I was talking to him about this right here, and he told me, why don't you remove this actual aluminum from the block and just build a block off plate? Because realistically, that oil filter is going to get smashed off there. So when I get this car up and running, I'm going to try to unplug this pressure sensor for the oil, and if the car stays running, I will build a block off plate for that. So that's something else that's going to be new for me. But there you go. The Mazda is stripped. Exhaust is off, interior is out, everything's done. It still has windshield and back window, but other than that, it is ready to start getting built.